like having you in my living room. I wanted to give us an opportunity to talk back and forth today. So when I holler for Julie or for Liz, they're going to come grab these mics, and I'm going to encourage you to be brave and speak from your heart today. And I just wanted to start by asking if there's anyone here that has ever had something happen to you that you didn't want to have happen. Anyone? Anyone? Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm not alone. Okay, let's grab the mics. Should have thought of that right away. Grab our mics, Julie. And I want you to just throw out a few examples of what those things were, just like 3 or 4 words, doesn't have to be a paragraph, of what has happened to you. Raise your hands real high so we can see you. What's happened to you that you didn't want to have happen? Way over on that side, too. Maureen?
I woke up on Thanksgiving morning with a family of 4 that I had to feed for Thanksgiving, and I could not move. I had done something to my back, and I was not doing a thing that day or for the next few weeks.
Okay. Apropos.
My first husband left me on my birthday.
Wow.
I was
Don.
hospitalized with COVID.
COVID, yeah. Thank you. Marjorie?
Well, you guys can call me Margie now. I got kicked out of my house at 14, shipped to Alaska, 50 below zero, no running water, electricity for 1 year.
Thanks for sharing that. Is there anybody in the back? Raise your hand so we can see you over here. Julie, you want to come to the center aisle?
In 2017, I had a brain aneurysm, which I never expected.
A brain aneurysm you did not expect.
Right.
Thank you.
But here I am grateful.
And here you are. Yeah. Okay. Julie, who's next to you? Raise your hands. Go ahead.
This goes back to college. My girlfriend broke up with me. I got pneumonia. I couldn't study for finals. I flunked out of the University of Illinois.
How you guys feeling? Yeah. Okay. Don't worry, we're not going to leave you here. Okay, Carol has one. Julie, right here in front of you. Up the center aisle. Keep coming to me. There you go. And Liz, you want to come over on this side? There's folks over here.
I've got people here.
Oh, okay, great.
2 years ago, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure.
Okay, thank you. All right, Liz, go with your person.
In 2003, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I'm cancer-free now.
Cancer-free now, thank you. Over here, okay. Go ahead.
So I was supposed to go to Vienna, Austria in February for my first work trip, and I got COVID.
Ugh. All right, Liz, you got one or not? No? Any over here? Melinda has one, and then, okay, Val, and then Melinda.
I've been alienated by my entire family.
Okay, we're breathing through that with you. Okay, Melinda.
Seems like small potatoes from everything I've heard. My first husband cheated on me. My second husband got Alzheimer's.
Thank you. Okay, one more. Anybody? Claire, Liz, you want to? Oh, we got it. Go ahead.
This goes back to in June of 1996 when my biological mother walked away and placed me for adoption.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. And I know there's probably a whole lot more. So what I'm going to ask you to do right now is if Liz and Julie just want to hang on to those mics, I'll probably need you again. If everyone in the room and everyone watching online, and I'm guessing there are many of you watching online that have also had something happen to you that you didn't want to have happen. Lost a job, failed at a promotion, your favorite boss left and nothing good came after that, financial troubles, spouse leaving, relationships ending. We all have had something that we didn't want to have happen that was really kind of rocking us at our core. So what I want you to do is put your hand on your core, which is your heart right now. Close your eyes for just a minute and take a breath. And even though those stories that we've heard here now have had a feeling that feels low and heavy, I want you to breathe some light into your heart right now. that there is always light present. There is always light present. And as we remember to do this, it will help us move forward on whatever path we're walking right now. So a typical, thank you for doing that. Anytime you feel heavy today, just put your hand back on your heart again, okay? So a typical response, okay, so because I chose that picture, it gives you an insight into who I am. I put the word crap up on the screen in a Sunday service. Yeah. So if this disturbs you, I love you, and I'm going to invite you to just breathe through it, and we can talk more about it after the fact. But know that I did it with a sense of humor. And I even went through, when I was in seminary training or kind of pre-seminary training, you do a message for the people who are kind of taking marks on you. And in my message, I used the word crap. And I grew up with 3 brothers, so that's, I'm going to blame them. But I literally got called out on it. And yet, here it is again. So either I'm a slow learner or I just knew I would draw to me my peeps who would get the word crap on a Sunday morning, okay? So yeah, so there's that. And when we run into those things that we didn't want to have happen to us, it's very easy for us to go to try and identify where it came from, if there's someone I could blame right now, if I could create a story about this is happening to me because they're better than me, they have more power over me, they don't care about me. We could put it all on the shoulders of someone outside of ourselves. And if we can't find a person, then it's going to be the organization, the politics, the government, the school, the corporation, whatever, as being the reason that this thing happened to me that I didn't want. And when it happens, it's the kind of thing we're talking about today that could not be undone. Okay? There's no going back in time and changing what happened, right? So this is the undoable thing that we didn't want to have happen. When that happens, we can't really identify who's to blame for it. What kind of mic runners would you run around for me? Raise your hand. What kind of emotion would come up for you when those things happened? Just maybe you can just yell them out from where you are. Victim feeling, okay. Frustration, anger, fear. Okay. Okay, Don had hope. So everyone see Don after the service. Yeah. Okay, so someone over here, say it loud again. Pass it on to us.
Despair.
Despair, okay. Margie? Adventure, okay. See Margie after the service. Okay. Confused. Yeah. Shame. Okay, one over here. Betrayed. Grief. Depressed, yeah. Yeah. Worry, embarrassment, helpless, hopeless. Okay, you guys can sit, thank you. So what's interesting is we rarely settle for that thing. Even though we can't undo it, we rarely settle. Even though it feels like crap, we rarely settle. We just keep pushing against it. Can you relate to that? Yeah, resistance is a very common experience. And I'm just going to invite you to know that as you're resisting and you can't change it, that it may feel like we have no way forward in this. And it may be very true that you can't go backwards in time and change the facts that happen. But I want you to hear today, there is a way forward. Say that with me. There is a way forward. Even if the circumstances can't be undone, there's a way forward beyond what has happened. And it's completely up to you. It's not up to the enemy to change. It's not up to your family to fix it. It's not up to the government or the new person that you just elected. It's really up to you, and one thing that you do have, I don't know if the word's control, but you have the ability to use in your favor that can really move everything forward. Anybody want to guess what that is? Acceptance is a good word, and we're going to get there today. Attitude, same thing, but there's a thing that's operating all the time in the universe. Oh, okay, spirit and energy, that's fun. All right, let me just say it. It's the law. The law. It's one of our principles, our third principle. If you want to check out our brochure, it'll tell you what our third principle is. That we create our life experience through what? Thoughts, feelings, beliefs. Yes, okay. So this is where there's going to be some of you sitting out there going, she's making this my fault. Hey, if that's true for you, it's true for me, okay? And what if? Okay, today is one of those days where I asked you to come here so you could see the whites of my eyes. Get up really close so you can see the whites of my eyes. I know it's no fun to hear that you might have had something to do with the thing that happened to you. I so get that. But what if that's not a bad thing? What if that's a really good thing? That you don't have to go fix someone else or change somebody else's attitude about life, that you only have to work on yourself because you do have control over yourself, right? Okay, so I know some of you are like, that is really harsh, Kitty. No, I'm not kidding. I've had people get in counseling with me with tears coming down their face saying that is really harsh. And then they'll tell you stories about children and how things happen. Okay, so children, yeah, long stories, lots of stories, heart-wrenching stories. And I just want you to focus on you today, okay? Don't try and put this off on somebody else. What if you do have the power to undo, or not undo, to move forward through these things we didn't want to have happen and wind up on the other side of it in a place of wholeness and well-being? Now, what do I mean by wholeness and well-being? Okay, Spirit, we are just going everywhere today. Sorry about okay, I'm not going to apologize. This is where we want to go. So, where does Spirit want us to go? Think of the possibilities of where this can take us. What if the whole reason, oh gosh, wow, we're really going to, okay, so what if you landed in your human body on purpose? You made a plan, and this is Kitty's point of view, okay? Some unity ministers agree with me, some don't. I don't really care. Remember the word crap? Yeah. So, what if we chose to come into this particular body and spend some time with a family that is just horrific for a reason, so that my soul could experience the challenge of it and know what it's like not to be loved so that I could learn how to be loved? What if my soul came into this body to stand up here on a Sunday morning? Now, I am talking about me. Stand up here on a Sunday morning teaching about the chakras for the first time. And on this particular Sunday, taught about the throat chakra, which is about speaking our truth clearly, and then the next day woke up with Bell's palsy. Come on. You think that's just an accident? No, I don't. And I'm the one that had it happen to. So if I can stand up here and say, this was no accident, there is something going on here I want to pay attention to. Good news, I can still move through it. And I am moving through it. And I'm coming out the other side of it. And please don't ask me, thank you. Thank you. please don't ask me how I'm feeling or are you making any progress, because you know what that does? That makes me think about how I'm not making progress. Yeah, and when you focus on what you're not doing, then you just energize that to continue to not make progress, okay? So Kitty has, golly, gee Moses. So I have no doubt that I arranged for this to happen. For two reasons. One, because I had a lesson to learn. I'm not sure if I'll tell you that today or next week, but I had a lesson to learn, and also because I am here to be a teacher for you. I am here to show you how these universal laws work when crap happens, okay? So, don't you think it's funny that a woman who speaks for a living and who teaches you how to avoid sickness cannot speak clearly and has a sickness that everybody can see? It's not like I can just stay at home and curl up in bed for a couple days and get over this cold. It's visible, it's audible, and everybody gets to go through it with me. And you don't think I said, oh yeah, I'm not doing this alone. I'm not dealing with this alone. You are coming with me. And if I have to learn a lesson, you get to learn a lesson. Okay? All right. So I'm really going to skip around here today. We'll see what comes out of me. What I want most to say today, let's see. What if I had a loved one that if I were to like put all my loved ones up on a stage somewhere and point to the one that I in my heart felt closest to, and it turns out that that person thinks I'm going to hell and probably has taught her entire family that I'm probably going to hell and that everyone should pray for me, and that I'm not able to be myself with her. But I want to be in her life and I want to talk with her just about everyday things. And guess what the most important everyday stuff is in my life? Guess. Oh, come on. You! Unity in Naperville. Most important thing in my life that I do 7 days a week and love doing, okay? So imagine what it's like to have something you love to do. You like to talk about it, not only with you guys, but with anybody that I run into, I like to talk about. But the one person that I love the most, that I feel my heart one with her heart, I can't talk about. That when ideas are shared from her point of view, which I'm completely okay with, I can't agree because, honestly, I can't agree. And I can't disagree because I have no desire to change who she is, right? So imagine, this is the scenario. And about 5 days before this happened, I was in a conversation with her. And I swear, it was just one of those moments where what she was sharing was like, oh, but what if? And before you knew it, okay, strap in. Before you knew it, these words came out of my mouth. Here it comes. Are you ready? I am God. Well, you can imagine how that went over. And I felt sick that it even came out of my mouth because I didn't want to hurt. I didn't want to change. I didn't want to scare. I just wanted to be connected. I wanted to be authentic. I wanted her to know me. I wanted. So for the next few days, I just had a hard time. And I was still in her presence, so it was just kind of hard to find our way after that. You know what I mean? And at one point, my recommendation for her was, how about if, when you think of this conversation or you think of me, how about if the God that you love so much, you just turn me over to God and trust that the way that you trust God to deal with me in the best way that God thinks I should be dealt with. And all the time I'm sitting here thinking, I am so in alignment with God. Which I do believe. So, and she's like, that's what I do. That's what I do. Okay. So I still just was having trouble with how am I going to live moving forward with this. And then I came here on Sunday and talked about the throat chakra, and then I woke up Monday, and my ability to communicate, to be authentically me, to speak my truth, was now literally being inhibited. Do you see how the law works? Yeah. Now, if I had said to her, I am God, and I'm just so excited about it, let me tell you more, you know, it may not have affected my physical like it did, but I felt guilty as I said those words. I felt afraid of where this would take our relationship. There was nothing good in my feelings about saying those words out loud. So, can you see how when your frequency goes downhill, your defenses go away and your energy aligns with whatever it is that speaks strongly from you? So I'm going to share a little bit about how this law works. Many of you have heard us talk about it here, but let's hear from, first of all, Jesus. Up here on the screen, I won't go through all of these, but he talked about it all the time, that this law is working and that we can work with it in a way that allows us to have these experiences and go through the issue and out the other side. So, Matthew 6:22, the eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. If your perception is the same thing as your eye, which is what lights up the body or basically instructs the body, if your perception is healthy, which means it's aligned with the Spirit of God and the universal laws that work, then the result, your outer life experience, will be light. It will be healthy. And the next one, the measure you give, will be the measure you get. So if you're giving to someone something that is laced with fear or worry or anger or hopelessness, then the measure that comes back to you will be of like kind. It will have the same energy assigned to it. So if there was anything that I wanted us to understand about this law, is it is not a God saying, Kitty, you blew it, you opened your big fat mouth, and you are going to suffer for it. Bam, Bell's palsy. Who here believes? No, never mind. Let me just tell you, that is not my reality, okay? That is not my divine truth. What I do believe is this universe is a universe of energy. Even science will agree with us, and this is what makes unity different from the Methodist Church, is that we believe that science and God are all intertwined. And so this idea of everything a single field of energy, it's moving at various frequencies. So you get a piece of paper because the energy in this is vibrating at a different frequency than the energy of my sweater. So they feel different, they look different, okay? So in the same way, the kingdom of heaven is within you. When Jesus said that, he's talking about energy. There's a realm within you that's vibrating at a higher frequency that is spirit, and it is here to intertwine with these lower energies and see how it can bump into walls and have arguments with people and lose the election or win the election, and then take the frequency of divine spirit within us and give our attention to that so our whole being will be filled with light, and that we can address the spouse leaving us, or the diagnosis, or the loss of the job. We can address it from the higher frequency. And the higher frequency for us begins first and foremost in consciousness. So when Jesus said in Mark 7:14, there's nothing outside a person that by going in can defile. The Jews were concerned about diet, right? And so they're saying, don't eat that, yes, eat that. So here's Jesus saying, it's not the food that you take into the body that will defile you, but the things that come out. He's talking about the thoughts, the words, the beliefs, the feelings that you generate. When they come out, they have the power to defile you. Well, who's in charge of those thoughts and words? Who's in charge of your thoughts and words? I am. You are. Yeah, I'm going to ask it again, and I want to see every hand raised. Who's in charge of your thoughts and words? I am. Yes. Okay. So good news, you're in charge, and there's a law that wants to work with you. As far as God's concerned, there's no separation. There's no preferences in the mind of God. God's good. God's sun is shining on the righteous and the unrighteous, right? So set that one aside. We can't blame it on God. We don't want to blame it on anything. We just want to learn and do, learn and do, learn and do. Go through this by learning what the lay of the land is and how we can move forward, okay? So this is up to us, that we can pay attention to the thoughts and the words and the feelings that we're having. One of my favorites comes from Matthew 5:25. Settle matters quickly with your adversary who's taking you to court. We metaphysically look at that as the adversary not being a person, not even a sickness, but the adversary being your adversarial thoughts. What's an adversarial thought? It's a thought that says, I'm sunk. I can't get past this. I don't have enough. I am not enough. There is not enough. I'm not good enough. Any of those thoughts, that's an adversarial thought because it does not represent the nature of God as you. So settle with that as soon as you hear it. Settle and move beyond it. And one of the things I love that Eric Butterworth says to us, that reminds us, he says, we're not going to be punished for our sins by an angry God. We're going to be punished by the sin itself. What's the sin? Error thinking. You have an error thought that says, well, let's see, I got Bell's palsy. What does the research say, and how long will I have to put up with this? I'm going to go for a week. 2 weeks? No. 8 weeks? No bloody way. Kitty just said bloody in church. Add that to the list. All right. And I'm not even from England. All right. So, okay. All right. So the punishment from the sin, the experience of the sin, is that as you're holding that idea that I can't get past this, I can't get through this, as you're holding that idea, it's dragging you down to the lower frequency energy in consciousness, and it's keeping you from connecting to the higher frequency thoughts that are, there's only God, God is life, God is love, God is substance, God is intelligence, God is all that I need, there's no power working against me. And when we know that truth, that's what sets us free. So if you want to kind of tap into this very simple explanation of the law, try this little tiny thin book. It's just an excerpt, really, from Neville Goddard, Goddard. It's called Feeling. I can't say my F's yet. Feeling is the secret. And let's just, actually, let's put the first paragraph up, please, that starts with the creative process. And y'all going to help me read it out loud, okay? Are we there? It's, okay, the creative process, you see that? Let's read that out loud. The creative process begins with an idea, and its cycle runs its course as a feeling and ends in a volition to act. Ideas are impressed on the subconscious through the medium of feeling. No idea can be impressed on the subconscious until it is felt. But once felt, be it good, bad, or indifferent, it must be expressed. By control of feeling is not meant restraint or suppression of your feeling, but rather the disciplining of self to imagine and entertain only such feeling as contributes to your happiness. Okay, I want you to hear a word back in that last sentence that you probably didn't like. Rather, the disciplining of self to imagine and entertain only such feeling as contributes to your happiness. Okay, so what I want you to hear is that the conscious mind is the chooser. It says, okay, I want to express as my natural state of well-being. That's an idea that I'm choosing. And when I can hold on to that idea long enough that I literally feel what it's like to be back to normal, now you're in that feeling level. And from feeling, the subconscious will receive that idea, and the subconscious starts building normal. Okay? That's how it works. Your subconscious is the builder. Your conscious mind is the architect. It's the chooser, the decider of which direction we're going to go. So when you say that cannot be undone, you could say it will be overcome by, and then choose a way out. You're a spiritual being. You got an imagination. Pick something really fun. Where do you want to go from here? Pick that, imagine it, choose it, talk about it, think about it, till you feel what it's like to live at that level. And then you basically give the okay to your subconscious to start building it, okay? So I'm going to jump ahead and talk just briefly before we close about you and me. I've talked about what happened and how I wound up this way, and I want to invite you to notice how you feel about it. Okay? So we're going to need microphones, so if you want to get our 2 mic runners up here, what I would like for you to do is raise your hand. If you could be brave enough to just tell me, when you look at me talking this way, what goes through your mind? Be as blatantly honest as possible. Maybe even don't speak for yourself, maybe speak for what other people might think, okay? So in the back row, there's one, all the way in the back, Julie. All the way, there she go.
My thought was, honestly, you sound wonderful, like you...
Okay,
you
I
can
sound
barely-
wonderful. Thank you.
You sound wonderful,
Thank
yeah.
you. All right, Andy, and then Melinda, then we'll come over here.
Okay. At first it was concern and can I do something to help you? But now I agree. You sound great.
Thank you. Thank you. Melinda, right here, Julie.
I'm just so friggin' proud of you, Kitty.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, over here. Go ahead.
Kitty, when I first heard you speaking, I thought you sounded like an English rock and roll star. Now, I'm not kidding you. And that's what I'm experiencing.
All right, cool. I hope it's somebody I like. Okay, Deb.
So I thought about my husband when he had Bell's palsy, and I thought about what he must have went through, and that's what I thought.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you, Carol. Go ahead.
I thought, my God, Kitty, we've done so many healing services together. How could you get sick?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for your honesty. There's some over here. Is there anybody over here? Sharon, you go, and then we'll get over here.
My brother has Bell's palsy, and he became a pilot and crashed. And when it happened to you, I just felt my brother saying, "Speak more unity words, speak more unity words, so we can share more unity lights."
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Somebody over here. Thank you, Sharon.
I am woman, hear me roar. I am invincible. The Spirit is guiding me. And that's who's guiding you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so, Julie, take a mic up to the tech booth, please.
Honestly, I was afraid, and I thought because this is your passion, I was worried about unity.
Yeah.
Because you're the center of it. So I was
Thank you for your
concerned
honesty.
for that.
Thank you for your honesty. We're going to come back to that idea. Okay. Val? Oh, wait, sorry. Marley.
Everybody's saying such nice things, and I really appreciate that, but it reminds me of, like, in 2023, I had a stroke. I had Bell's palsy. I dealt with the same thing, but I had to learn a really hard lesson. I had a lot to learn in that moment, and if I didn't have that experience, I don't know where I would be today. And so, like, in some capacity, I'm thankful that it happened, and it sucks, and you're going to go through it, and you're going to come out stronger on the other side, but have fun on your lesson. This is your journey.
Thank you, Marley. Somebody else.
That's funny because when I got your email, then I was reading it over. It's telling everybody that you weren't going to be doing Sunday service. I was like, oh, she's okay. You know, like there's a treatment plan. Like I didn't feel any worry seeing that. And so when the first Sunday came and you were here, I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was that bad. I was like, wow, I really underplayed that. I didn't realize it was that bad. But then my second thought was like, I really do want to know what you believe caused this. And so I'm really grateful for today.
Okay, thank you. Who else? Okay, so yeah, lots of people.
So, Kitty, I've always relied on you for your love and your teaching, and all of a sudden I see fear and frustration, and I feel that too, and I didn't know I was supposed to feel that.
No, supposed to, but thank you for sharing that honesty. Susan, over here on this side, raise your hand so she can see you.
Having had it twice, when I first found out that you had the Bell's palsy, it was just sympathy because it's a bugger.
Okay. Anybody else? PJ? Oh, wait.
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
do PJ.
Kitty, I felt that you were very brave and courageous, and I am grateful for your vulnerability.
Thank you.
Teacher.
Thank you. Okay. Val's got one. Go ahead. Is that you, Casey?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is the correct word for it, but I almost felt embarrassment.
Yeah, that's a great word. I want to hear that word. Ooh, we're going to work with that word a lot. Okay. Yes, back row. What's your name?
Colleen.
Colleen, thanks.
I haven't been here in a year. I just moved back to
Welcome.
Illinois from California. And I wouldn't really have known that anything was the matter with you if you hadn't pointed it out necessarily.
Okay.
We see people, I see a lot of people every day in all shapes and sizes and conditions, and you're performing admirably and beautifully and with great, tremendous loving feeling. And I love you for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Colleen. Okay, Kevin and Sherry, and then we'll be done.
Oh, thank you. Kitty,
Julie, go over to Sherry on the far side. Okay, I'm sorry, Kevin.
Oh, that's okay. I got shingles about, 20 years ago, and then I got Bell's palsy about 10 years ago. And I remember coming in here, and I was going to sing with Kim Char, and you, God, I wish I could remember what you said. I said, Kitty, I think I need to make a joke and say like I'm a pirate, on the sea, and I'll just be a pirate because this side was not working. And I wish I could remember what you said. Whatever you said to me, gosh, it was so helpful because I knew and all I could think is, okay, take the Voltrex, finish the Voltrex for the shingles for the 20, and then for the Bell's palsy. I couldn't remember what medication I took, but it worked like a charm. And so I'm frustrated for you, me, and
Okay.
because I wish I could remember.
Thank you. Sherry, and then we'll move on.
I just still see the beautiful, spiritual, strong Kitty that was here before this happened.
Thank you. Thank you. So what I'm going to ask you to do, first of all, thank you for all those honest comments and those well wishes, and I'm taking those all in. Those feel great. And I'll just ask you to continue to be honest with yourself. Because when I look at the mirror and watch myself talk, I like, oh, whoa, I don't want to look at that. That's uncomfortable. So if it's uncomfortable for me and it's coming out of my mouth, I can only imagine what it's like for other people. No matter how much you love me, you could probably feel a little discomfort here. So when we're talking about creating a crisis, we have an opportunity to do one of two things. We can either make it worse or we can move beyond it. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is to play this out with me for however long this lasts. To allow your focus to continue to carry you into it, to look clearly at it, to notice what stories are coming up in you about how she's doing, what she's thinking, why is she still having this, she should be better than this. I mean, who knows what goes on? This is what I would say. So just notice what comes up for you, and then remember what we talked about today. That my rock bottom belief is, judge not by appearance, but judge with right judgment. And to me, right judgment says that while I am dwelling in a physical body that has the ability to get sick, it is not who I am. It's a home, it's a vehicle that I'm using right now, and it just so happens that it's not functioning ideally in my point of view, but it is not who I am. And the way that we practice healing in unity is that we turn our thoughts towards what I am. What I am is an eternal spiritual being. Here it comes, I'm saying it out loud again. I am God expressing, and my body and my ego can either help and make way for my higher self to express, or it can get in the way. So if we're going to create in the middle of a crisis, we can either create in such a way that just keeps me at this lower level, or we can create in a way that's like, oh, yeah, there's that, but here's Kitty. Divine, perfect, whole, complete, eternal, infinite, and I am the same as every one of you, each one of you, an expression of God, borrowing these bodies for a while, and you're going to have good days and bad days in them, but every time we have one of those low frequency days, it's our opportunity to go, and where would I rather be? Who would I rather be? It will be a both and. I will never sit here and counsel you in sickness to say, just pretend like it doesn't exist. What I will say to you is, it's both and. That in the midst of the illness is the allness of life. In the midst of the illness is the allness of God. And so, yeah, the body's over here busy feeling this and expressing that. But at the same time, judge not by appearance, but by right judgment, which is, I am a divine, infinite being that is never sick, that is never less than, that is never limited or without, because I am an expression of the one presence and the one power, here to know the truth of my being. And whether I go the rest of my life with a crooked face or not does not change who I am as a spiritual being or expression of the divine. And that my work here, coming into this physical dimension, was to run into things like this and say, well, when I was in spirit, I didn't get those kind of things. So what's this all about? Okay, well, it doesn't feel good. It looks like this. It makes me want to do this. When I get into spirit, I'll never have that again. So gosh, what can I do while I'm here in the body and being spirit at the same time? What can I be? Who can I be? What is the truth of me? That's where you put your thoughts. You can sit in meditation, which heck, let's just do it right now. You can sit in meditation and you can choose a word that represents what you want to be, that is divine in nature, and just give all your attention there, okay? So let's see. When I'm going through something like this, there are a few divine qualities that I want to remember and become in consciousness. Those words, see if you run across one that fits for you. Life, L-I-F-E, life. Strength. Order. Peace. Harmony. Enthusiasm. Guidance and wisdom. Open-mindedness, acceptance. And we're going to work with the idea of allowing. Because anything, if allowing is not included in your practice, which is basically accepting what is without resistance, then you're working against yourself. You're basically giving all your attention and energy towards that which you do not want. So, just because you allow doesn't mean that it's going to continue. Let's find a way to get into a state of allowing. About whatever that thing is that's happened to you that you wish hadn't happened, let's go with allowing, and then we can move on. All right, so let's close our eyes. Let's feel the chair beneath us. Take a deep breath and release. Just scan down through our body, starting with the top of our head, remembering that we open to that beautiful crown of light above us. Reminds us of our oneness. We witness that crown opening in light and allowing that divine light to pour down through our head, our face, our neck. No matter what we feel in that neighborhood of our body, we simply witness it and accept it as it is. We notice the light moving down through our neck and shoulders. Witness and allow, just as it is. The light moving down through our chest and our solar plexus. Witness and allow it as it is. And the light spilling over into our arms and our hands and our fingers. Witness and allow. The light pouring down through our lower abdomen, our pelvis, and our hips. Witness and allow. And the light pouring through our thighs and our calves, our knees. Witness and allow. The light pouring through our ankles, our heels, the soles of our feet, and out through our toes. Witness and allow. And no matter what our body is saying or feeling in this moment, we scan down through and notice, witness the energy that is expressing, and allow. And at the same time, witness the perfection of the divine pattern for your body, which is also present. See that divine pattern for your human body held in the mind of God and imprinted throughout your body in every cell. Witness that pattern and allow, knowing there is nothing we need do to perfect it. We simply witness it, allow it, accept it. Nothing and no one stands between us and God's infinite good. As long as I witness that good and allow that good. As you take a deep breath in, just see that divine light flowing back up from your toes all the way up through the top of your head. The divine pattern that rests and manifests as we witness and allow. Grateful, allowing a feeling of gratitude to flow through. Knowing that God can only do for us as God can do through us. And so we say, thank you, God, that the fullness of life, the depth of wisdom, and the harmony of love are working in and through us, empowering all good things to work together for all that are involved. This is the truth of our being. Now we let it be. And so it is. Amen.